Hey, welcome back to the channel. Before you have the fruits of my labor this weekend, I went to the antique shop. Had been looking at some of these things and decided to pull the trigger on them. So got a nice Bridgeport hardware manufacturing company axe, a Civil War era fork, and a box. The box is the star of the show. What's in the box? It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's not necessarily what it's in the box. Could be a couple things in the box. Maybe a few knives in the box. But we're going to be talking about this in the upcoming video. And if you'd like to see what's in the box, go ahead and check out the video. Alright guys, we're going to go in to make the kill here. It's not a hunt today. And it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty good. Hey! Alright, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi to all my viewers. Remember tomorrow, 5 p.m., we're going to have a live show. Stephen Patty's Potato Peelers is going to be there. And also, Kevin, the Knife Doctor, is going to be there. And that's going to be so cool. I have so many questions to ask him. Don't you? Don't you wonder some things about all the stuff he gets? Is he able to, how does he handle all of that? How does he get them all cleaned up? What does he do with them once they're cleaned up? Just a lot of questions to ask him. And so tomorrow's your chance. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday, the 27th of August. A day that'll live in infamy. The day the Knife Doctor goes live. Of course, he's been on RJ and a couple other channels, but I'm really happy that he agreed to be on our channel. So I'm not going to go through these. I picked this up this weekend. It is a snap-in. Snap-in. There it is. Bridgeport Hardware Manufacturing Company. These are really nice axes. And this is in the original state. Haven't done anything to it. The handles are a little loose. We're going to fix that. We're not going to talk about this very much, other than just to show you. And this is a 18th century fork, 4-tine fork. We're not going to talk about this either. Just wanted to show it to you. It's an old fork. These are pewter inlays in here, and these are ebony scales on it. So, yeah, we'll talk about this at a later date, too. We're going to talk about that box. What's in the box? It's a fairly big box. Look at that. That's the size of the fork. Let's open it. Whoa. What is it? Whoa, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 knives in this box. Wow. What a piece of history this is. Look at that. These are all surgeon's knives, and it's going to be a really cool video talking about this. Still has the cartouche of the maker on there. It is a 10 box with leather covers on it. And probably mid-18th century. There's some problems with this and dating this, and I'll explain those in a minute. So let's... Okay, so these are traveling physician's knives, and these typically were friction folders, And you can see the little tab right here. This is also a stop tab, so you press on it to get your blade out. You can see the manufacturer right here. If it'll snap in, which is, I think, Charrier is how you say that. Well, I'll show you in a minute a better view of that. But these would come all the way over, and then the physician could hold and use his scalpel. So these are made out of tortoiseshell, very finely made. The craftsmanship on these blades is just phenomenal, and that is usually the case with physician tools. They were some of the finest made knives. Here is a simple lock and button, and what you do here is all you do is push it forward, and the blade now locks. And so these are locking blades. I'll show you. Let me show you here. Right there, this little, on the tang, this little catch is what this is slipping down into right here. It slips right into there, and you can look close here. I think you can. Let's get her in, and you can see how that catch is flat. You see that? So that it can slide in to the tang right there. You can see it. Boom. Very simple mechanism. Works good. And one of these is broken, but almost every one of them are not broken. Let me just leave that open like that. We'll show you all of these. So that helps us date these knives. That catch, the locking mechanism, came about around 1840. And knives like these were used, of course, by physicians on the go, right? So come on, there we go. I was pressing on it, and this is a little curved one. Isn't that cool? And yeah, so that's why they came in kits. Most of the time you see them in leather kits. The fact that this is a 10 holder kind of makes me feel like this is an early or later kit, like 1890s. Here you can see the catch broke off, and you can see how that tang rolls over right there. See, a tang rolls over, and that catch would just go, just slides across right into it right there. Very simple design. The manufacturer of these knives is pretty famous, and actually his innovations in medical equipment were so profound that the France ended up using his company for all their medical equipment and all their hospitals. And there you go. So this is a little tiny hook, and they would put this underneath the arteries and veins to pull them up and catch them. That's what they use it. Maybe for other things, moving stuff out of the way. This little tool right here, you would hold it and put it onto the skin, and you could run the scalpel in this little groove right here, and it allowed you to get a very precise cut right there. That's how they use this, to pull the skin away when they were cutting. And this is just a little probe, really ornately designed. So they don't design medical equipment like that. You can see, can you see? There you go. You can see the little kind of grips on it. It's threaded like a coin would be. And the name of the manufacturer on it right there. And this is solid silver. And they use these to poke and prod. So you can test an organ that way, or you can test somebody's reflexes. Hey, do you feel this? And they used silver because it didn't react with the blood. So this is a case, pretty nice case. It's tin. It has padding in here and leather over the padding. It presents a problem to me. I would think this is a newer case. It does have a simple latch on it, which would, most of the tin cases that came out in the early 1900s had snaps and would snap shut. This has a little clasp here, which would tell me it's older. I would think this case would be from the late 1800s, 1890 to 1910, something like that. Could be a little older. That said, I have seen several dated Civil War kits that were made out of tin. Most of them you see were made out of leather. Here is the manufacturer, Charrier. Born in 1803, died in 1876. Yeah, I believe he died in 1876. His grandson took over the company, ran it to 1830. So you could say, oh yeah, 10 case, 1830, yeah, that makes sense. But they had quit using these by that time. And so these folding instruments come from an era when doctors visited people in the home, and a lot of the surgeries were done in the home. People didn't trust hospitals. Early hospitals, they had them. London, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago. They had hospitals, but they were known as places for the poor. And so the training in them wasn't very good. The outcomes of people going into hospitals were not very good. And so if you had money, you wanted to be treated in your home. And as a practical matter, especially as you went out west, you just didn't have access to hospitals. So a physician carried little kits like this that they could do emergency care on people. So by the 1890s, they were using a lot of celluloid, and these would have been celluloid turtle shell. However, this is genuine turtle shell. There's a couple ways you could tell. For one thing is turtle shell didn't look as fancy as this. You can clearly see the differences between this. And so turtle shell actually had a lot of dark spots, and most of them are dark and not, highly colored like this is right here. The other thing is when you look at this turtle shell, let me get a good example for you here. When you look at this turtle shell, it's kind of separated, right? You see how it's separated? And the lines right here are really kind of rigid and precise, even on this side right here. And when you look at this turtle shell, you notice how it bleeds over, like right here, it's bleeding over into the other turtle shell. And that's because it's the coloring that's bleeding over into this, and it bleeds out like that. So genuine turtle shell doesn't do that. You can see it really good here, how like genuine tortoiseshell doesn't connect like this between the dark portions and the yellow portions on it. And you can clearly see that on these right here. Under a black light, or for you younger cats, a UV light. If you shine a UV light on a genuine tortoiseshell, these dark areas just get darker, and these light areas turn kind of a greenish color, a lime green color, and that's kind of opposite of what it'll do on fake celluloid, or fake turtle shell. So on fake turtle shell, all this brown becomes green all the way across. So genuine tortoise shell will just maintain this color or get darker, and the gold areas or yellow areas turn a little bit of green. So they react differently to UV light. And so that's how I know this is genuine tortoiseshell. Pretty nice. These are all flat, so there's no grind lines in here, or lines that would give you better grip. This is nickel silver. The catches, the pins are all nickel silver. And you certainly wouldn't find genuine silver like this in a kit from the 1900s. So by the 1900s, around 1880, they became aware of the problem with germs. They didn't really understand what a germ was, but they knew that if you kept wounds clean, outcomes were better, patients. And by the 1890s, they had gotten away from these folding instruments to have just all metal instruments, so you didn't have blood contamination all in here and stuff like that. And so tortoiseshell also was on the way out by that time. But there was an environmental movement in the 1800s, and there was a lot of public feedback to not only tortoiseshell but ivory. Why were you using these materials when other materials were available? And so companies, when celluloid came along in 1876, they rapidly moved towards celluloid. You can see how clear that is. You can see the blade. And there, that's the blade. Pretty cool stuff, huh? This is, just to give you an idea of the size of these, that's a case trapper right there. So yeah, I've been wanting one of these, example one, for a long time. It's just another piece of cutlery and history, type of knife that was made, and each one of these would probably sell for around $100 on eBay, and I got this whole kit for $145, so I had to pull the trigger on that, because you can see that little tab just sets down in there, and you just shut them up. These are really finely made. This carbon steel. You can see the rust on them. Really cool. All different kinds of blades for different kinds of cutting. Really nice. They are in good shape, but you have to remember, this is not something somebody would be using them out hunting. Kits like this would have stayed on a dresser, out of the weather. They would have been cherished and passed down. If your father was a surgeon, these were probably passed down from family to family. So I would date these. They could be Civil War. Definitely. But I'd probably date them around, 1870 to 1880, something like that. All right. I hope you found that interesting. Man, I just love having this kit. I can't believe I've been looking for one. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all at one shot, plus some other medical instruments. Really cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and the information.